Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today, and welcome to Glowmas. So today's video, I recently did my worst makeup products of 2021, and somebody said they thought it'd be fun to do like a full face of the worst makeup of 2021. So what I thought would be fun instead would be to do a full face of makeup that I literally don't use. This is a good one. I obviously have a lot of makeup, more makeup than the average person feasibly needs. So today I compiled all of that makeup into this Ziploc bag because all of my little baskets that I usually use to transport makeup are still packed. And we are just gonna go through, use the makeup that I literally never use, talk about why I don't use it, maybe re-fall in love with some of this makeup and use it again, or maybe hate it and decide it's time to declutter it. Let's jump into it. Oh no, okay, this is a little bigger than I thought. That mirror in the corner going to bother people, yes. Okay, here we go. The very first thing I have in my little goodie bag, the very first thing I lost the top. The very first thing I have is a primer from Huda Beauty. This is the Water Jelly Primer. I don't dislike this primer. Like, it's not bad. I actually really liked it at one point in time. I think the problem is that it's not really good for dry skin or oily skin. It's really only good for sort of combination, like there's nothing really going on, you don't have particularly dry or particularly oily. And the problem is there's only like 2 months out of the year where like that is my skin. Like right now my skin is like stupidly dry because it's the winter time, but during the summer it's stupidly oily. So it doesn't really work for any time other than like spring and the first little bit of fall. That's the reason I don't gravitate or reach for it too much anymore. Like even right now, putting that on my skin when it was dry felt like I was putting sandpaper on my skin. I don't know why. The way that this primer is formulated, it rubs up against my skin in such a weird and uncomfortable way. So even though this is not a bad primer, this, even now I'm just realizing, like, and it's so sticky too, it's so tacky, which on dry skin just feels like it's pulling at every little dry spot or acne like thing that you have going on. Just feels terrible. So this I probably should just declutter because I don't use it enough to justify keeping it, but it's not like a bad primer. I just like feel like you have to have a very specific skin type for it to actually work for you. The next product I want to talk about, this one, I don't know why I don't use this. You know what I think it is? This is the Beauty Blender Bounce Skin Tint. I bought this when it first came out. I love, my camera's gonna die, hold on. Okay, I'm so sorry if the quality looks different. I switched cameras, so we're gonna see how this goes. At first I was kind of like, I don't know why I don't really use this anymore. Like, why don't I? I think the reason is, as far as skin tints go, this one is just like so subpar. Like, it's not bad. It doesn't make your skin look bad by any means, but it's just like nothing to write home about. And when I have a bunch of other skin tints that I actually like really love and use a lot, I also just simply don't have time to use a dropper. As you couldn't tell by the fact that I just plopped all of that on my face, I literally don't have time for a dropper. Also, look at these brushes. Oh my God. I got these from a brand called Blinged Brushes, the Red Ruby. Stunning. I think as far as skin tints goes, it's just kind of like okay. Like, it definitely is a tint in the sense that it's not very full coverage and it gives you a nice finish. However, I almost feel like it's not enough coverage to be good enough for most things. I really like my skin tints as like a personal preference, and I know not everyone is like this, but I like my skin tints to be a light coverage, not like a sheer coverage, and I find that this is kind of a sheer coverage. I also find that because it's so liquidy, it's hard for it to feel skin-like. Like, even though it's definitely a very, 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 very light coverage formula, it almost feels like it's more coverage just because things sort of start to cake up really, really easily. Like, this doesn't look terrible right now. It's definitely not bad, but I would much prefer, instead of reaching for this, to reach for like my NARS skin tint or my Huda Beauty glowish skin tint. Like, I find that this just leaves my face looking a little bit more cakey than I'd want, a little bit more flat than I'd want, and also not even really covering any of the sort of blemishes or things that I would like to like kind of be covered, you know? Do we keep this one? This one's harder because it's not bad, but it's just not as good. Yeah, let's get rid of this one. This will be a declutter, I think, because it's not that this is bad. I guess this is kind of like full face of makeup that I'm like debating decluttering. We're changing the theme because honestly, it's like, do I get rid of this? It's not terrible. It doesn't make my skin look bad, but it just isn't something that I would reach for because it's not as good as other stuff I have. So if that's the case, she's gone. Okay, this next product I need to just get rid of. It's the ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer. I never use this. There was a time I really loved it and I thought it was like so good, loved the formula. The problem with this, which hopefully you'll see, is that it literally just doesn't cover anything. There's like no actual coverage. It's like if I wanted to cover a blemish with this, it would not happen. I want to cover my dark under eye circles. It's literally not going to happen. Like it almost looks like I did basically nothing. You can still see through all of my dark circles here, everything. It more so, I guess it really just doesn't serve a purpose is the problem. Like I just put all of this on and I feel like I look exactly the same as I did before. It's just like slightly whiter in these parts of my face. There's no like coverage happening. There's no brightening happening. There's no nothing. It's just like slightly whiter. So this is gonna be a declutter as well. This is a no-go for me. I kind of knew going into this I might declutter that one. Okay, this next product. Similarly to the skin tint, the Beauty Blender one, this is the Flower Setting Powder from Beauty Bakery. Again, it's not that this is like a bad product. Like I don't dislike the product itself. I just find that I have better setting powders, but I have a feeling that I'm gonna put this on and not want to get rid of it because I know that it's good. Like in my heart, I know that it's a really good powder. It's just never one that I reach for because it's not sort of my tried and true powders. I've been loving doing makeup with my brush, by the way. I used to be so into using a sponge for like 90% of my makeup application, and now I'm so much more into touching things up with like a brush and adding layers with a brush. Just find it evenly distributes everything a little bit better and makes everything look a little bit more seamless and less cakey. Yeah, see, like that was seamless. That was a seamless application. Definitely like set into my crinkles nicely, didn't emphasize them, didn't add texture to them. Like this is not a bad powder by any means. It's just not one I reach for. I think I'm gonna keep this for now and really try to make a point to use this one more. I don't know why I don't. There's nothing wrong with it. Like there's no, and I know the wear time is good. There's no like weird separation over time. Like I have no idea what I think the problem is with this powder, but for whatever reason, I do not reach for that one. Okay, we're gonna put her in the keep pile for now. I really gotta try to use this up more. It's also, I've used it a lot because there was a time that I was like obsessed with it. I just don't reach for it anymore. And I feel like if I really put my heart to it, I could finish this in the next like 2 months. Like I feel like if I really just buckled down and used it, I could get all of my use out of this. So there's not a lot left. Okay, next up we have bronzer. This is the Nabla bronzer from Nabla Cosmetics. It is the Skin Bronzing in Dune. The reason I find that I don't reach for this as often as my other bronzers, and the reason I'm debating decluttering this, is literally just because it's a very dry formula. A lot of Nabla's stuff is, like a lot of it is a more drier formula. That doesn't mean that it's not good. Like it doesn't mean that it doesn't bronze things well or blush or highlight things well, but it also just like throws me off because I'm always expecting a little bit of a softer, easier blend, and this always gives a little bit more of a harsh, intense sort of bronze. Like even here you can kind of see it's a little bit more harsh and it just takes a little bit longer to diffuse than I would like a bronzer to do. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this. It's just too annoying to have to blend out. I probably cut it out, but I just spent like literally 5 minutes trying to blend this and it still just looks kind of subpar to me. I'm also having a hard time getting pigment on this side of my face. I feel like this one has a lot and this one does not have a lot at all. I don't like how difficult it is to use, especially when I have so many bronzers that you just throw them on and they blend out so seamlessly and easy and they look so skin-like and just like kind of natural, honestly, I feel like would be the best word. So like, why would I use this when it's like doesn't do that for me personally, you know? We're getting rid of it. This is going well. I'm actually happy. I normally am not this savage with my makeup. Like I try to make excuses for it because I like spent money on it, so I don't want to waste the money. This is a blush that I rarely use. This is the That's Peachy Glow Play Blush from MAC. Again, not a bad blush. Like truly really pretty. It's got a sort of cream to powder texture, which I really, really love. I think the flaw in this blush is that it takes a minute to build it up. You're about to see. Like that was the second time going in. Still doesn't really look like I'm wearing blush. Third time. Now we're getting somewhere. It's definitely coming through a little bit more. And now we're on the 4th dip. Before you start seeing your cheeks kind of get that color back. And for me, I have so many blushes that are very similar color to this that don't take as much effort to sort of blend up and build up, that I think that's a big reason that I don't gravitate towards this, is because I don't like to have to go through the effort of warming it up. A really beautiful finish. It's not even just the color. The way that this like melts into your skin is gorgeous. Like, I love the way that this melts into my skin. I love how natural it looks, how skin-like it looks. Oh man, this one's a little bit tougher. I'm tempted to keep this just because of how beautiful the finish is. It's almost making me like remember how much I loved it when I first got it. When I first got it, I used to use it all the time. And even though it does take a minute, it still is like low-key worth it for how sort of seamless and effortless the blend looks on it. I think we're gonna keep her. You've passed through the next round. Do better next time. No, this product, okay, for brows. I have a really strong feeling that I'm gonna get rid of this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade Gel. I've hated this product from the start. I need to get my brows done so badly, it's not even funny. Oh my God. Ever just get so busy, you like neglect your brows a little bit? That's me every day of my life. I'm gonna take this brow gel pomade, and the way that I like to use it when I do try to use it, which is not frequent, is I really start in sort of the middle of my brow. First of all, I wipe it off really good because she is goopy. She's basically like a really goopy mascara, but a brow gel. Never had a brow product be this goopy. I like to start in the middle of my brow and sort of lightly go through and bring that out. And then I take a spoolie and I start going up here a little bit and sort of getting that color that the brow pomade gel, whatever, has like left behind, and like kind of picking that up like this and then bringing it back down through here to brush this up to give it sort of like that natural hair-like strokes thing everybody always talks about. And here's the thing, it doesn't look bad. And that's because I just did it well, the technique that I do. Normally, I do not do it well. Like, it's very rare that I just succeeded the way that I just did. And I think the reason I've kept this product for so many years is because when I do succeed at using it the way that I want, there we go, I just fucked up. When I do succeed the way that I want to with this product, it actually does look really pretty. Like, they're very subtle on the front brow, they're a little bit more dark in the back, a little bit more filled in. Like, when I can do it right, it's not bad. However, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't look like this because I'm not doing it right. Even right now, I like fucked this up. Super blown out and like messed up. Ugh, I hate when that happens. Like, even this one looks so bad compared to this one, I feel like. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but it looks so much worse than the other one. This one is like the kind of messed up one. And that's the reason I never like to reach for it, because it just doesn't do it all the time. Like, even on the same day, 2 different brows could not achieve the same look. So I am gonna declutter this finally. I think it's time to declutter her. I've also had it for a while, and at this point, like, if I wanted to, I would, when it came to reaching for this product, you know? This is a product that I literally just should never have bought. I really let my nostalgia for the Tartelette and Bloom palette get the best of me when they came out with their Tartelette Juicy. I'm so mad that I bought this. I'm so mad at myself for buying this. I just was so in love with the pretty pinks and like neutrals and thought I would use this all the time. Spoiler alert, I've used it like twice. I literally don't ever reach for this. It was such a stupid purchase. I knew in the moment that I had like a million things like this. I wasn't gonna reach for it. It's something I would shit on in a yas or pass. Like, I knew all of that, and yet I still was bamboozled, and for some fucking reason bought this palette. So I regret that. And I'm gonna do a quick little eye look with it. And then I think I am going to declutter it. It deserves to be, it's not a bad palette. That's the problem with most of this makeup. Most of them are not like bad. I just don't use them because they're not my personal preference. And like, this palette in particular deserves to go to a home where somebody is going to actually utilize it and love it and use it as its intended purpose, which is like an everyday neutral palette. And for me, I just have other better palettes that I use for my everyday neutral palettes, so I just never end up reaching for this. I'm just gonna do a quick look off camera and then I'll come back to you guys for the other stuff. Okay, there's been some developments. I love how this look turned out. Even though the shimmers are very subtle, I feel like I just created this like really beautiful, soft, light, whimsical, glowy, like iridescent eye look that I am like obsessed with. And I'm remembering now why I have kept this palette, which is because every time I do use it, I like it, even though I don't use it. So now I'm conflicted. Okay, can I create this look with other palettes that I own? Yes. Okay, I gotta get rid of it. I can create this look with other palettes that I own. Even though it's pretty, like I don't need this palette for sure. And honestly, if you were interested in this palette, I would still highly recommend just going ahead and getting the Tartelette and Bloom if like this is kind of the vibe you're going for. I still feel like that Tartelette and Bloom palette is like unmatched. The shimmers in there are definitely a lot better than these shimmers, even though I'm not mad at these because they definitely have like a cute little subtle moment. The shimmers in the Tartelette and Bloom are much better. And also I just think like the mattes blend the same, they work the same. So yeah, but I was torn for a moment because I looked at my eyeshadow and I really liked how it looked. I feel like it looks very like light and girly and pretty, but no. She's gotta go. It's her time. It's time to go. I also just threw on a mascara. I used the Ilia mascara. I am keeping this. I don't really have any mascaras that I don't use. Okay, the next thing we're using is the Soft and Gentle Mineralized Skin Finish. This is kind of an iconic thing from MAC. I feel like especially back to when I got into makeup in like 2016, everybody talked about this highlighter and she had her use and she had her moment in my makeup collection, but I'm definitely not, well, wait, you know what it is? It's the color of this. When I'm a little bit more tan, this color actually looks really gorgeous and it's super pretty and like reflective and beautiful. And honestly, on camera, this is also a highlighter that looks really pretty and reflective and beautiful. Like on camera, this I'm sure looks great, looks super glowy, super dewy, all of that good stuff. But the problem with this product is that the slight undertones of it, sometimes if I turn the wrong way, give me that very weird gray cast that you never really want from a highlighter. It gives me almost this like silver color pulling through, which I don't like because then you can really see the definitive sort of streak of the highlighter. Even when I blend it out, because of where I placed it, pulls kind of a weird color. So I think this is gonna have to go. It's a pretty formula though, it really is. Like it looks really good on right now. I'm not mad at it. I think all of this makeup actually looks really cute with the exception of my foundation. I don't like, or my concealer. I guess I don't like my base, but I like all of the powder products in the eyes. Like I don't think either of those turned out bad. I just wish my base was better. Does that make sense? There are a lot of lip products that I don't use, but a lot of them are like situational. I tried to pick two that I like should be using, but like just for whatever reason don't. And that first one is the Huda Beauty Power Matte in Girls Trip. This is a mini of the product. I believe I got this in like a little gift set. And then also we have the Marc Jacobs Recover Hydrating Coconut Lip Oil. Both of these products, in theory, I should love and want to use all the time. However, I don't. So we're gonna figure out why that is. So let's put on the lipstick. I realize why I don't use this now. It's not opaque enough, and I'm remembering all of this now. It's not opaque enough, and so you can kind of see like the crevices or color on my lips through this lipstick. And it also does look very drying. Like I kind of look like I just dried out my lips. Like I was tanning for too long outside and my lips got super like dried out and like chapped. And that's never the effect you want with a lipstick. I think it's low-key a mix of the formula and the color being kind of weird. But yeah, now I'm remembering why I don't wear this. The coloring is super off for my skin tone. It just looks bizarre. We're gonna declutter that. But this, I really don't understand why I don't use it more. Because in theory, it smells like coconuts. It's a lip oil. I fucking love lip oils. So let's see. It's Vaseline. It's Vaseline. You could just buy Vaseline, put some coconut in it, and like call it a day. I got the second it touched my lips, I completely remembered why I never wear this. It's because it's quite literally Vaseline. Oh my God, that was so uncomfortable. Okay. Well, the full face is done, and this is what she looks like. I actually really like how my makeup looks. I don't think it looks bad or terrible. None of these products are inherently bad or terrible, but I think it's still good to go through and figure out like what works with your makeup routine and what might not work with your makeup routine. I think that's just a valuable thing to do every once in a while. Like figure out if there's products you're not using, why you're not using them, and yeah. Let me know in the comments down below what products you don't use. I love you guys so much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, I'm just so glad that you're here watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and my 2 channels, including my vlog and podcast channel, where I'm uploading every day this month, will be linked down below, along with my social justice spotlight. Go check it out. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!